In today's Booze and Chill Podcast, we're talking positivityness. As you can see, this is like a mobile-ish kind of podcast, and there's a reason for that. I'm going to tell you the story, but right now, I'm here to tell you that do not allow anything to stop you from doing what you want to do. Don't let the little things get in the way of what your goals are. And that's today's moral. That's today's moral of the podcast. Positivity is moving forward, getting shit done. Let's go. All right, so I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off here, guys, so you're gonna have to bear with me on this one. All right, I'm doing literally everything with a hand. So before we get into this whole positivity, I'm going to tell you the story as to why I'm choosing to talk about this in today's podcast, mobile podcast. So I'm going to start by explaining to you all that yes, we are. So I'm doing it this way. I apologize if it's windy. I'm doing it this way because by the time of recording this, the day before this, I was recording an event, some big party, and I forgot my camera and stuff. I actually have it now at my disposal. I could have done this at my at the high ground studio, which I call it. I could have done it, but it wouldn't exactly go with today's message. And again, the message here is don't let the small things in life get in the way of what you want to do. Because for those of you who actually know, I gotta tell the people who are just listening in the audio podcast, please check out the video podcast. There's a lot of movement. Give me a sec here. I'm actually grabbing a mic stand now because I'm actually doing something as of now. Gonna grill outside. But anywho, so the whole message the whole message about this is that don't let the small things get in your way. If you have a mission, you have a goal, then just go with it, guys. Like I said, don't let the small things stop you. Like this podcast, I said to myself, this podcast is happening one way or a fucking another. I apologize if the camera's adjusting too much. I am moving around a lot, but yeah, don't let small things in life get in the way of what you want to do. Because like I said, this podcast, like I was saying to myself, this podcast is going to fucking happen one way or another. Because that's just how I roll. That's how I roll. I've gotten used to the whole scheduling thing, which I'm pretty sure all of y'all, who know and who follow, I have an idea as to when these podcasts come out. And I don't like to disappoint. And that's another thing. Motivation. You guys are my motivation to keep this going. You guys are my motivation to keep going. Like if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't try this hard to keep the podcast going. And what I like about this particular podcast, it's not the first time I've done a mobile podcast, but this type of way of doing it, it's quite literally my phone and a microphone. That's really all it is. Which again brings me to do not let anything get in the way of your dreams, of your ideas, of your goals, of your missions, because whether you have the tools or not, there's going to be a way. You're going to find a way to make this happen, because you just are. You just are. And like I said, I'm doing this right now with a microphone just hooked onto my phone. I'm literally holding the freaking microphone in one hand and my phone in the other, pacing back and forth, talking to you guys, telling you that it's possible. If you set your mind to it, if you really want to do something, you're gonna do it, whether it's like perfect or not. But like I've mentioned in a past podcast before, there is no such thing as a perfect podcast. So doesn't matter how you do it, at least do it. No, just do it. As the great saying goes from I'm gonna quote a movie here. I'm quoting Star Wars. How does it go? It's do or do not. There is no try. That's I kind of base my life off of that as well. Movies are motivational. But yeah, just do it. Or like that famous Shia LaBeouf GIF goes, just do it. Just do it, guys. Right now, I'm going to actually keep doing my thing, because like I said, I'm going to grill. In fact, I'll aim the camera right behind me. Again, for those of you listening, I am literally outside. I'm pretty sure you can actually tell by the sound. There's a little bit of wind. But, yeah, this is what this whole podcast is about. Just talking about making sure you guys know what you want, making sure you guys have the capability to do it, are motivated to do it, and actually I'm gonna wait a bit. Are motivated to do it, and even if not, I hope that this podcast ignites something in you, because I know everybody now and again needs a bit of a boost, needs a little push, needs to see and or hear, depending if you're watching or listening to this podcast, that it can't be done. It can be done. Again, it's just a matter of how much you want it. But like I said, when it comes right down to it, you have something in mind and it just completely takes over you. You are gonna see through it. You're gonna go through hell if you have to actually see this idea or this dream, this mission just work, actually happen. And again, this is why I'm doing this podcast. This is why I'm doing this podcast this particular way, exactly. Because like I kind of like this idea. I'm not gonna lie. This is something that can actually work out for like another one. So I might try this idea again, quite possibly. But in the meantime, we're just gonna roll with the punches. And that's another thing you can actually take away from this podcast as well. Not all the time, I gotta adjust something. Not all the time will things work in your favor. But again, that's okay. Because, just like everything in life, shit just happens. And just like this, for those of you actually watching the video podcast, you are watching a giant cable being loose. But like I said, shit happens, guys. But you can't let that stop you. Just like I'm not allowing this to stop me. And so, but yeah, shit happens, guys. Shit just happens. And it's hot. Sorry about that. It's a little bit hot. All right. There we go. I apologize for the listeners. We finally have gotten the meats now, and gonna start a fire soon. But before we end this, I do want to say a couple more things before we get this fire started. Just again, this is for the people who need the push, who are just in need of some sort of sign. So just to kind of like bring you guys up to speed, there's probably even a big sound difference. This is 2 days after that first chunk you just saw. Now let me explain as to why this is now not mobile. What happened was that um, the my phone overheated. I was recording this podcast. This it started off as a mobile podcast. I started it off as a mobile podcast outdoors in like a 95 to possibly a little bit over 100 degrees outside while grilling. So, like, actually, this was before grilling, and it just completely gave up on me. That same day, I did a live outside while grilling, and the live just completely went off because it overheated. So, here we are continuing on this here what was supposed to just be a mobile podcast, but this is the whole point of what I was talking about uh in the beginning of the podcast of the mobile podcast, uh not letting the little small things stop you, because like I said, even right after the first time I was trying to do the mobile podcast and completely shutting down on me, I did a live, shut down on me, continued the live. Luckily, that worked out pretty good. But going back to that whole point, this is exactly what I mean. I got a little tiny little dilemma, a little technical difficulties because of the weather and whatnot, but yet here I am continuing on. Why am I continuing? Because the message is still the same. Even though what happened did stop the whole mobile quote unquote air quotes here uh podcast, still continuing because the show's got to continue, the podcast has got to continue, the message kind of sort of. And the funny thing is that this is like 2 days after recording. I couldn't continue it the day before, because doing family stuff and stuff like that. But had to continue it because, for one, it's an unfinished thing. I have to finish it. That's just how I am. And two is I had to re-listen to what I actually said, and re-listening to what I was saying, because that day of the beginning part, what you guys just saw, I was so pumped. Couple of reasons. Why? Because I was grilling and I enjoy grilling for the family. And two, I was just around the family. I was just being. I love being a family man. That's just what I am now. So I enjoy it. It brings me joy. So when I feel the joy, I get motivated, which is why I kind of said what I said. And because I had to go back and re-listen to every single thing that I was saying, that motivated me. Well, that me that you saw in the beginning re-motivated me just now. Again, had to listen to it just now. Phone's right here. Had to watch and listen, and motivated me from that day, which you saw earlier. Just kind of like pushed me again and made me think like, you know what? fuck the small things that get in the way. Fuck them. Like before I start, excuse me, before I started doing this, we actually uh, was running some errands, got some new pets. Might introduce them in the channel, or well, yeah, in the channel soon, and picking up food for them, stuff like that. And traveling with kids is a little bit unnerving depending on their moods, right? So I was kind of sort of already feeling that, but then stuff came up at work, so I'm trying to get as much done as possible. So I'm already getting frustrated, and this goddamn thing won't let go. And I'm already getting frustrated, and but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like I got to get this podcast done. So to do that, I had to re-listen to what I said in the beginning, which was prior to recording this 2 days ago, and I'm just like, you know what? Motivated me has makes a point. Small things like what I was going through earlier today, and what I'm still going through right now, because as soon as I'm done doing this, there's stuff that I gotta prep for Thursdays lives. You all know, and for those of you who don't know, Thursday lives every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Beer reviews, movie reviews, all that fun stuff. Can't wait to show you what I'm going to be talking about that day. So, uh, but yeah, what's it called? Keeping motivated, staying focused on whatever it is that you want to do is truly a challenge within itself. But then you have those moments when you actually just sit your ass down and really think about it. I'm kind of glad that happened. Which again, what you guys saw in the beginning, I'm glad that happened. And in a way, it had to happen because future me now, this me right now, or not like for you guys, but for me right now, prior to recording this, had to listen to that, not only to continue the podcast, but to kick myself in the ass. Because, like I said earlier, it was like what the whole being with the kids thing. Which by the way, prior to recording this, my 7-year-old just graduated from first grade, so clap to that. And again, running errands, going out with them, it's all fun. But, kids are kids. They tend to get on your nerves every now and then. And then got to do this thing for work, and now I got to rush all my stuff, all this stuff. Got to rush, and I got to get it all done by today. And so there's a rush there. I despise getting rushed. I despise it. Not only do I not do a very good job, but I also, again, I hate being rushed. But after listening to myself like that in the beginning, it just kind of made me take a step back to realize that I can do it at my own pace. But I want to do it. I don't have to. I want to, because like I was saying in the beginning, like you guys are the reason why I keep doing this. If it weren't for you guys, probably wouldn't have kept going. But because you guys enjoy what it is that I do, and whatever it is that I bring to the table, y'all seem to enjoy it. And if I can do what past self did to me, this me right now, to anybody out there, then I feel like that's a really big fucking win. It's a big fucking win. Because like I said in the beginning, like somebody out there needs this kick in the ass somewhere. Excuse me. Yeah, somebody out there needs that kick in the ass. And I would love to be that. I love to be that person. Someone's down, someone's unmotivated, somebody's possibly, hopefully not going through some sort of depression or some sort, and they just need to hear something. They need to hear something that's not gonna bring them lower. This is the podcast. This is the message. Like, don't give up. Don't give up. Especially, well, if you're as stubborn as I am, You're not going to. You'll stumble, you get pissed, you get frustrated, but this is the kick in the ass that you need. If you're like just not having the best day, this is the kick in the ass right here, right now. In fact, for those of you who are watching and or just listening, may I suggest you pass this video podcast and or audio podcast, depending where your thing is. Pass this on to somebody that needs to hear it. It might not be the most uplifting message or the most fanciest, but this is it. Like I said, I'm still doing this thing. I'm still doing the thing right here because I am back to that past me that you guys saw earlier, like I mentioned, and I feel motivated again. And I feel confident that I can actually finish what I need to finish and still quite hopefully have some time to go outside and shoot some water guns with my kids and and the family, because that's actually one of the things that we uh, gifted her for, you know, passing the first grade. And yeah, I feel confident enough to do that. And by thinking this way, it just helps. Trying to stick to the positive mindsets, it really just kind of like what's the word I'm looking for here? It's kind of snowballs into something much more bigger, something that is going to keep pushing you, and it's just going to get you to where it is that you want to be. Whatever it is, wherever it may be, it's going to get you there. And again, hopefully this kind of hits somebody somewhere out there, whether you think you need it, whether you think you don't need it. It's spreading I'm spreading the love, bro. Spreading the love. I've actually been listening a lot to freaking Bob Marley, and I just recently saw a documentary on him, and I kind of feel like there's a little small connection between Bob Marley and I, because it's the looks. No, I'm kidding. No, it's the fact that he believed in something way bigger than he than himself, I mean. Because I think it's like that for everybody. I feel like everybody has this like capacity to do more than they think they can do. What does this have to do with myself? Excuse me, or the podcast? Because it's something I enjoy doing now. It's fun, and definitely something that can uh spread positive messages, which is what I'm doing right now. And I feel like I don't try, but I'm just being me when it comes to these podcasts, right? When it comes to what it comes to all of everything that I've been doing in the channel and slash podcast, I'm just being myself. Whether I'm tired of shit, whether I'm just like not feeling it 100%, or like right now, I wasn't completely, actually, no, scratch that. I was fine. Got a little frustrated. What parent doesn't? Watched and listened to 2 days ago of the mobile podcast as this was supposed to be, and I'm right back on track. And all it took was just listening to, what was it, like about like almost close to 10 minutes of motivated me saying motivational things, saying that I can do it. Don't let the small things get in the way, stuff like that. So, and I brought up Bob Marley earlier, and I can't remember if it was him exactly. Oh, I read it somewhere that there's a reason why uh it's called curse words, because they're spells, they're curses. Like even how you say it, it will affect. So the positive things, the positive words actually bring, good. And I think I just kind of proved that just to myself from myself to myself, sorry. So that's pretty cool. I kind of had to experience that firsthand myself. Excuse me, I'm actually just trying to see how long we got here. And yeah, it's super super crazy how that actually did something. Like it's just hitting me now that like what the fuck? I actually feel like I can do it now. I can like seriously do it. Huh. Super crazy how that actually makes a lot of sense to me now. But anywho, the point to this podcast is some of you are probably thinking like, dude, this guy had literally nothing to talk about. Some of you might think that, which is fine, but you know, whatever, right? I'm just feeling I went back to that mindset that I was 2 days ago, so I'm good now. So if I can do that by myself, then I think that's pretty cool. But the thing is that not everybody has that capability to do that, which is why I feel like by doing this, what I'm doing right here, right now, to spreading it to you guys, it's just a boost. I'm not saying I'm gonna fucking, brine your fucking day. And if I do, that's fucking awesome. That's great. That's good for you. But again, this is just a little something that I think just people need every now and then. It's just a reminder to just keep going. Don't stop. Don't let it stop you. Whatever it is, don't let it stop you. And just do your thing. Just do it. Just do it. Like I said earlier, don't try. You can try, but if you try, that's not really giving it your all. So just do it. Whether you're nervous or you're afraid, whatever it is, just do it. And that's quite possibly might be just the last call to this podcast, really. Like, there's no other way to finish that at all. This also might be the most shortest podcast due to technical difficulties and very hot fucking weather, guys. Very, very hot weather. Um, but yeah, there's really no other way to kind of like end that other than just whatever this that is slowing you down, whatever it is that is stopping you from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve, wherever it is you want to go, um, don't let it. And if it's fear of failing, then that's all right, really, because without failure, you'll never learn. Because if all things were easy, then like, where's the fun in it, right? Like, you have to fall at some point. But by falling, you learn how to fall. And once you learn how to fall, the easier it is to pick yourself up. Yep. That's probably the best way to go about it. So don't be afraid to fail. Failing is just part of the learning process. Again, you need to fail to learn. By failing, it's almost like winning all at the same time. Because again, you fail, you learn. So don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of rejection. What's the worst thing that can happen? No. Big whoop. try again. Pick yourself up. Don't beat yourselves down because it's just a waste. It's really just a waste. I mean, again, you got to fail to keep to learn how to pick yourself up. So don't be afraid of rejection. Don't be afraid of failure, and just do your damn thing. No excuses. Just do it. I'm uh I'm actually a pretty big example of this. This entire thing, this entire channel, this very podcast that you're watching or listening to was um just what's it called? It's a perfect example of not being afraid, just excuses, I guess, because that's what I was doing. Excuse me, excuses. But then something happened that really, really just kicked me right in the balls and realized that things things are much easier than you think. I had to had something happen to me in order for me to actually be where I'm at sitting at right now. And yeah, it took something to happen, but that was by far that's probably like at my worst point in my life. But it took that to kick me right in the balls to make me think like, things there are worse things out there. So I can do this. And I hope that that's not the case for all of you all, because I mean, that's one way to also learn, not just failing, but something in your life that kind of had really what opens your eyes. And when that day does come, I really hope it's not something serious, but will still motivate you and again open your eyes to see and thinking that, you know, there are worse things. This I can do. And yeah, just do your all thing. Don't let anything stop you. And just make some time for the important things. But keep doing what you're doing. It might cost you sleep. I totally understand that. It might cost you sleep. It might cost you some time. But it should work out in the end. It should. That I do that I do agree with a lot. Anywho, that is the last call to this podcast. It was very interesting. Possibly the most very very short. Now, which one would be shorter? This one or the skateboarding one? That I'm not sure of. But that's pretty much it for this, guys. Again, share this video podcast or audio podcast. Um, Whoever you think may need to hear something like this. Again, I'm not the best speaker, but I can definitely kick you right in the ass if you need it. That's for damn sure. And that's it for that, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. And I apologize for the beginning part of that podcast. And that's pretty much it for that, guys. You know how this goes. Follow all Booze and Chill socials. And also support the audio podcast that is on Spotify. That is Booze and Chill / not Booze and Chill / Booze and Chill Buzz. I said that wrong. Booze and Chill Buzzcast podcast. There we go. That's how that's done. That's how that's done. And that's it for that, guys. For more behind the scenes exclusive stuff, be sure to go into Patreon / Booze and Chill. Tiers start at only $3, and there's stuff in there that you don't get to see here. Get to know everything that happens before it comes out, early releases, stuff like that, all that good and fun stuff. And that is it for that, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video, in the next live, or in the next podcast. Thank you all so much. Keep your heads up. Stay positive. Don't beat yourself up too much, because in the end, it's not worth it. Just do your thing, and good things will come your way, guys. Good things. I promise. Yeah. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.